This video is to address the issue with the Box login not working on MyFiles 1.1 on OS X. So I looked into the problem, and it turns out that the Box login is not working, and we figured out why. So the way MyFiles is built is we're built on top of client APIs for all the different cloud providers, the ones that we're supporting. So Dropbox, Google Drive, SkyDrive, Box.net, and SugarSync. And so we take the APIs that they publish, and we build on top of that. So what happens, or what has happened in this case, is that the login process has changed slightly since for Box since we submitted MyFiles to the Mac App Store. Keep in mind that MyFiles was in review with Apple for 3 months, and unfortunately, we got bit by this on release because this has changed in that time, and I don't know whether Box has published a new client in that time or not, but regardless, we've tested this client extensively, and it does work. And so for the fix, we're not going to update the client even if they published a new one. However, so we did identify the problem, and it's that the web-based login that Box is using changed slightly. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what's happening, and then I'm going to show you the fix that I'm going to put in and upload to the Mac App Store for review this evening. So normally what happens is we come in and we don't have a login to Box, and we had tried to enable Box in the app, and then so we'll go ahead and log into Box. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and say keep me logged in. So the normal process here is that I put in my credentials and I click the login button, and then this window will disappear and your folders will show up in Box. So I'm going to click login. Now the code we're looking at here is actually it's not MyFiles code. It's code inside of the Box.net client. And so this is the code as it had been working for several months while we were under development, and this code no longer works, and I'm going to show you why. So we submitted the login, and now the Box client is trying to detect whether it should request the authorization token. The part of this that's failing is that previously Box was setting a header called setCookie in their response to the login. This header is no longer being set. It doesn't mean that the login failed, it's just that the code inside the Box client can no longer detect reliably whether the login was successful or not. So all these steps that need to occur, dismissing the window and then getting the auth token from Box, are not going to occur because the setCookie header is no longer present because they've changed their HTTP responses for the login. So as you can see, this block gets skipped, so login does not appear to have completed, and the window does not dismiss. So now as a user, you're sitting there and you have this window sitting in front of you, and you just close the window. And then what happens is Box thinks that the login has been canceled. And so even though it was successful. So that's a problem, and so the window will dismiss, but the progress bar will spin indefinitely, and this is the problem that folks are seeing with the Box login. So now I'm going to go ahead and fix this bug. I'm going to shut the application down, and I'm going to fix this bug. In the Box client, this is not in MyFiles code, okay? And I'm going to get rid of this check. And it's okay because Box doesn't really use a cookie for authentication. It just was using this header to say, okay, we think that the login was successful, so now go get an auth token. If the login really failed, this operation to get the auth token wouldn't succeed anyway, so nothing really changes except that we're fixing the bug in the Box.net client, which no longer understands the response properly from a successful login. So I went ahead and commented out this check, and I'm going to build the application. and run it again and show you how it should work and how it did work for months before Box changed this behavior of their login. Okay, so once again, we're presented with the Box login, and I'm going to log in again. And say keep me logged in. So now we'll get the correct behavior. The window will dismiss, the login, the auth token will be retrieved from Box, and your files will be displayed in the application. So now we have the response. And now we're going to follow through with the rest of the login. And the login says canceled there, but it gets called a second time with the success. And now if we look in my files, the Box folder has been populated. So I'm really sorry for this. I'm really sorry for this bug. It's not, again, in my files code. It's in the Box client, and it's a result of the change they made in their web authentication flow that the client doesn't understand. So the bug is fixed and will be uploaded to Apple. Apple takes a long time to review Mac apps. Now that this app is live and it has a significant bug, I'm going to request an expedited review from Apple to fix this critical bug, so that folks who have been downloading my files can access their Box account successfully. So anyway, that's the nuts and bolts of why you can't log into Box. If you don't get the technical issues, don't worry about it. All you need to know is that we fixed it, and that the next release of my files will work in regards to the Box login. All right, thanks, guys.